He's ready.
Well, good afternoon. We're so excited to have you join us today. This is our third episode of going live and trying out this new StreamYard platform. So I would like to say we're getting a little better each time, but I'm not so sure. It's all trial and error, so we will get there. But my name is Jenny Long.
And I'm Celie Clark.
And we are Jenallee. We are instructional technologists with Eagle Mountain Saginaw Independent School District, which is a little bit north of Fort Worth, Texas. So today we have another special guest with us from across the pond again. So
Yay!
We've got our foreign friends with us. We're so excited about that. We just really like to have them on here so we can listen to them talk. We just love the accent. So we have Adam Grocott here with us today. And he is going to teach us how he uses and share with us how he teaches maths. So we say
yes.
And so he's going to share all the great tools and platforms that he uses in his classroom. So we're so excited to have you with us today, Adam. We actually met Adam when we were at BET earlier this year at an amazing conference. And Celie and I were teaching and showing how to use Teams and OneNote. And Adam came up and he was sitting and listening and he said, "Hey, I teach math. Can I help and show you how I use this?" And we're like, "Sure, come on." And then we said, more than come on, we said, "Join us. Can you just stay now with us?" So he was a great sport and just hung out with us and was able to share and learn so much from him.
We even met him online before that because on our way on the plane, we were flying to London. And Jenny and I were super impressed because we had we bought these seats with these extra leg rooms. So we were like, yeah, look at our leg room. Although the plane was pretty empty. And so there was lots of leg room and a lot of seats, but that's okay. And so we were tweeting it and Adam responded and showed his with no leg room. And we were like, oh, who is this guy? Oh my goodness. And then when we met him at BET, we were like, oh, now we know.
It's a great way to introduce yourself as the no leg room guy.
That's how I remember you. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Adam.
That's right. Well, Adam, we're going to turn it over to you and let you introduce yourself and take it away. Share a little bit about yourself, and we'll get started.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Yes, it's a maths teacher. That's my main role, not forgetting the S at the end of it. And the other role that I have, I'm very fortunate at the school that I teach at here in Jersey, is as the ICT champion. I did look it up today. The local language of Jerriere would say Le Champion, and that's my title. And I was appointed to that in 2017 to ensure that our colleagues and my colleagues at our school were ensuring that we were getting the best usage out of the Office 365 subscription that we'd got in place. We'd got a lot of other things that were barriers to that. We signed up to the Office 365 with an Exchange server account. Now, in recent weeks, a lot of that has changed to be able to give us full Office 365 accounts within the school that we're using. But for the last 3 years, then I've been working with my colleagues, making sure that the Office 365 apps that we've got available to us are A, utilised, B, efficient, and C, then for the best of the learning of our students. I focused a lot of my attention in the first instance in just streamlining efficiencies for staff. A lot of focus in the UK at the moment is about teacher workload and managing workload. So I was able to come up with a few quick tips and tricks to help my colleagues that were then making it more worthwhile for them to invest the time in learning how to use them even more efficiently. So there's a few quick wins in that, and that's mainly my role and what I do at the school that I'm at. I get great levels of support from my senior leaders. Our recent review into our school says that we are a well-led school, and the support that I get from my leadership team to allow me to train other staff is proving its worth now, and especially in the current climate.
That's awesome. I love it. I mean, I think there's so much to be said about teachers who really are stepping up, not only right now, but also in school and really sharing. And that's so helpful. Like, I love learning. That's where we learn, is from other teachers. So I love that you're leading, and then not only that you're leading, but that you're in a good school that's also recognized for that.
Yeah, and I think I'd probably say that one of my best qualities is my enthusiasm for this, and I then get a real kick out of when other staff have come to me and they've accessed the Microsoft Educators community and being on the MEC, and they've said, Adam, I did this badge the other day, without it being a designated one that I'm recommending or something that we're focusing on from the whole school perspective at the moment. They've actually taken the time and I've empowered them to go away and start looking at their own staff development and their own CPD. So that's when it then really starts to pay off. And as hopefully, as I say, it's my enthusiasm that then inspires the other teachers to go away and get on board and trial new things with that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. I love it. Our friend Lanny has said, met at Bet, woo woo, great friendship.
Love that hashtag.
Yeah, I do. We use it a lot.
We have another friend that's on here too, joining us.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah, yay.
You know, those two, right, just again talking about the MEC and talking about the power of Twitter and then met at Bet and everything. I honestly, Sarah and Lanny were my go-to people for whom I would sob and cry over Twitter about as to what I was trying to achieve. Lanny's always the first to remind me and say, Adam, remember, I've been doing this for 8 years. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to be where you are tomorrow and I want to be where Wales are and everything. And then I look at what Sarah's doing with Glow in Scotland and I'm just like, I'm just on this tiny little rock in the English Channel. I'm pretty sure we can get there, you know. So I'm so pleased to see that they're both online. I look forward to rewatching Lanny's stories again from last night and then seeing what Sarah's going to come up with as well.
That's awesome. You also have a friend, or maybe not, but someone from Scotland is here too. Shelley Thompson. So hello, Shelley. Yay.
That's exciting.
All right.
Well, I think we have a few questions. So we wanted to ask you, what celebrations or wow moments have you had during distance learning?
You know what? The first one that I'm going to share with you isn't even one of mine. Like when I was saying a minute ago about empowering other students and everything, one of my colleagues, Neil, is a superb product design teacher. So he deals with woodwork and metalwork and stuff like that. He's also fantastic at computer design. When we spoke about 5 weeks ago, Neil wanted to launch a Minecraft club. And I was like, yes, I'm so keen for someone to be doing this within our school. I just physically don't have the time. And I was so pleased that Neil came to me. Neil set up Minecraft Club as part of like a whole school initiative where we were all launching lunchtime clubs. He had 50 students in like his first week, all turning up with devices, not able yet to get on Minecraft for education, but to just literally get on and play Minecraft. They thought it was the best thing to happen in school. And Neil then went away. He's done all the Minecraft badges on the MEC. And whilst he then also set up a class notebook to be able to communicate with the students that were participating in Minecraft Club, the best thing was we then went into our Easter holiday and Neil still ran Minecraft Club every day. He was getting students logging in every day through the distance learning, because Minecraft for Education has become free at the moment for all users across the world. All of our students have gone on. Some of their creations are amazing. I've got one student in particular in my maths class for whom I was meant to teach symmetry when we go back after all of this is blown over. You want to see the Georgian house that the lads built. It's absolutely amazing and it's stunning. And they've done all of that through Minecraft. And that's through Neil and one of the, as I say, one of my colleagues who's really taken that sort of bull by the horns and gone, right, I'm going to be the Minecraft specialist. And the engagement for our students within that has then been superb. But they were building hospitals and cafes and putting menus on and everything. And it was all very COVID-19 themed, but some of the stuff was superb. So that was a real huge win.
Neil's joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Neil is, there you go. But Neil, honestly, mate, it's the work that you've done and where we'll then move this to for our school with the game-based learning in Minecraft, I'm super excited about. But then I've got to share with you another one. I won't say the student's name, obviously to protect their identity. There's a student in my year 9 maths class for whom I must tell at least twice a week to put her chewing gum in the bin. Now, I set them a Flipgrid task. We're doing about transformations in mathematics. So I created a Lego enlargement and set them the task of doing that on Flipgrid. my student, chewing gum student, went away and instead of using Lego bricks, then modelled it with bits of chewing gum, like stacked up. So she was able to communicate how she understands scale factors. She isn't using pieces of chewing gum, obviously unused pieces of chewing gum, but she did it using pieces of chewing gum. Did a little Flipgrid video and just put the little comment in to go, here you go, sir, don't worry, I'm not chewing in your class again. It was just a brilliant moment.
That's awesome.
It just goes to show the relationhips that you have with your students, even though you're not seeing them day in, day out as you would do within the building. You're able to create these environments using the Minecraft, using Flipgrid and everything to make sure that you still get those wow moments where your kids will always surprise you.
I love that.
Yes. Jenny is known for saying, it all starts with relationships. Like, we always come back to that. It's, making those relationships with people and keeping them and nourishing them all the time, not just now.
Yeah. Fully agree with that. And another colleague of mine, Colin Smith, would be a massive advocate of that theory as well. He's all about that with the students and everything. And one of his concerns, Colin is in charge of our inclusion team. And when we then finally we had Microsoft Teams turned on this week. Like, it's been like a 2.5 year slog of mine to get Microsoft Teams. The first thing that Colin wanted to prioritise was then making sure that all of our support staff were able to get online and make sure that we could all support each other, because they know the battles that we're having at the moment with the distance learning and everything else like that. So yeah, big shout out to Colin as well for the stuff that he was doing on that.
Awesome. Well, we're going to definitely have to check out the Minecraft resources that Neil's put out there. So we will definitely go and follow Neil if we're not already. So we need to go and check that out as well. What do you think is a struggle that you and your teachers have faced, and have you found a solution for that? I mean, we have a lot of struggles, obviously, but what is one in particular that you can think of that maybe you've found a solution for? Or have you found a solution for?
No, we haven't found a solution for the devices, truth be told, that our students are using. I conducted a student audit a few weeks ago, asking students like what access they've got to the internet. Are they able to access things like OneNote at home and stuff like that? But it's only in times like this when you then really start to think about the learning that they can do and how specific some of it is to the devices. Most of the learning tasks that I've tried to create, I've tried to be flexible in the OneNote pages, just because I've got it in the back of my mind that certain students are accessing this on certain devices. And I know that the Greenwoods Academy Trust in England is superb for their one-to-one device policy. And I really hope that whilst we haven't yet found the solution, I hope that that's something that we move toward, because certainly for our students, we know for a fact that we've got students that have got, well, I've got a laptop in the house. However, it might be that it's dad's work laptop and he needs to be on his meetings as well during the day. So actually then when we're setting learning to be taking place at the current climate, well, the student can't physically get onto a machine to do it. So we're trying to be very mindful of that. One of my colleagues, Caroline, has put together out a forms survey today. Again, another wonderful Office 365 tool, but she sent out the forms survey to all parents to try and ascertain like some real information as to what's happening day in, day out in your household, because that is one of the huge barriers. And what we then have to be mindful of as students, again, bringing it back to the relationship, is making sure that, well, I'm not bombarding you with emails to say, well, you haven't done it yet. You haven't done it. The other solution that obviously we've got now in place with that is Teams. I'm very lucky in my head supporting me in trialing our first class Teams. And what we found more often than not is that the solutions tend to come from the parents, because obviously the parents want their child to be engaged with learning and making sure that they're still involved with content and material that they can learn from. But certainly the emails from parents now, when they come to me, I'm the first to turn around and say, okay, I'm creating a class team for you. Please let me know that they can get on that. Please let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think of the communication that we can have, and let me think about the structure that we can now shape your learning with your students, because we've now got this facility and we've got this platform. So those are the solutions that we've looked at the minute. Yes, it's a struggle, but I'd say to any of my colleagues, if they were to watch this back, I would say to any of my colleagues, stick with it, because the compassion that they're showing towards their students is like first class, because this is difficult times for the students as well. It's not just, oh, well, this is really tough, I've got to make sure that I've put some content on there. Well, what about from the other end of the spectrum? What about when this is received by the students? That's what we're constantly looking for.
Yeah, but those are really great solutions. I love the form, sending that home. I think that is such a great way, like you were saying, to build those relationships. And then also creating a team to make sure that everyone's connected in some way. I think that's great.
We used our team today for the first time. I met with our senior leadership and heads of department team. We got 30 people on one call, and I planned to allow 15 minutes in the first instance for everyone to get online and for everyone to then navigate their way around the tools as to how you use it. And I think that's important again, because obviously we as staff are learning through this as well. But certainly the first 15 minutes of this call was just fun and entertaining. Colleagues talking to each other again and seeing each other face to face for the first time in a week. So again, thinking about it from the teacher's perspective, it's also a struggle not seeing your colleagues and not seeing your team members for whom you depend on 5 days a week. So hopefully Teams is going to be out that as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you have to give them time to play with the custom backgrounds also.
Our network manager, Clive Armstrong, he is in love with the custom backgrounds. He picked up your link from the show, and you can't now call Clive without him going, wait there, let me just change my background. And he's got another one.
Well, you have a few more hellos. Stephanie says hi.
Yes. Stephanie's,
and then, of course,
I'd say Stephanie's from your neck of the woods. She's from Chicago.
Oh, awesome. And then our friends, and I don't know if do you know the Merrills?
Yeah, I've seen their stuff on there.
Yay!
Yeah, awesome.
They're amazing. So definitely we follow them, and they have a lot of great ideas. Like you were saying, that's part of the, Microsoft family. It's so wonderful to be able to be friends with people and help each other and get ideas and collaborate.
It's the one thing I'm determined, like with Neil's on Twitter now, I'm determined to get every one of my colleagues at Grainville on Twitter, because it's I describe it as like the best staff room in the world.
It is. That's a good goal. Keep at it for sure. I think
go ahead.
I was saying, in this time more than ever, I'm seeing more people get on Twitter because, they're seeing that there are so many resources there. So for the longest time, we kept trying to encourage all of our teachers, and now we're seeing them get on Twitter. So that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Lanny has a comment. He said, pupils remember a teacher who showed care toward them for the rest of their lives. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right. So we want to know, speaking of Twitter and all of us collaborating and being a part of the Microsoft community, what advice do you have for teachers right now during this time of distance learning?
My go-to at the minute is keep it simple. Just again, having the back of your mind of the struggles that everyone's going through. We might have students that are in a household where, like I know for our supermarkets over here, you're getting out for your 1 hour a day to go and do your grocery shopping and go and buy your essential items, and that may still take you 2 hours. So bear in mind all those struggles that are going with. Literally, just keep the learning simple. Go back to your 5 E's and think, right, what can I do that's simple, that's going to engage my students? You know what I mean? And that might just be a simple OneNote task. It might be a simple Flipgrid video response or anything else like that. It may be just, please I'm looking forward to doing class discussion on my Teams channel, to now say to my students, look, just make sure that you contribute. I'm not going to judge you on vast quantities or anything at the moment, but just let's make sure that we keep the learning simple. Say this wrong now, but that asynchronous learning, I hope I said it right. If you're gonna go down that avenue, think about the resources that you're sharing and make sure that it's simple and it's accessible to the students, because they're going to want to see success. They're not going to get the instant feedback that they get when you're in your classroom with them. They're not going to get the instant feedback from your rubrics that you might circle straight away, because as a teacher, you might have to go out and do that grocery shop. So just make sure that you keep it simple and they can get some instant success on it, or at least some instant feedback. And if that's a quiz, if it's just a 5-question quiz, just do that, but keep it simple, keep it concise, make sure it's something that the students can access.
I love that advice. Especially as a mom right now during distance learning. I'm like, yes, please keep it simple. I love that.
Well, just with that, actually, Silly, you know the slide deck that I've shared with you?
Yeah.
What I'll try and do now then, I hope I don't come across as hypocritical now, but if you show the slide deck that I've shared, these are some of the creations that I've tried doing in OneNote, and I'll try and, use this time now to communicate how I'm trying to keep it simple and keep it accessible and everything. This is Numeracy Ninjas. This is a huge program that we use across the UK. There you go. I've sent my PDF that the students would usually work at in the book, but I've then just put a table in so they've got somewhere to put their answers in. If they're working on any Windows 10 device or anything else like that, I know that they can go to this page, they can do the mental calculations, but then they can input their answer straight on the page, somewhere where they can see it. I don't want them printing off PDFs and scrolling all over it and then taking a photo and uploading it back. If they've got a digital inking device, they can throw it straight into there. We've just made it, just put a simple table into your OneNote somewhere so as they can communicate their answers.
So you're using class notebooks, a OneNote class notebook with your students?
Well, because we didn't have Teams for so long, Class Notebook was our only facility. And it was our only way of sharing and collaborating and making sure that we could give students access to learning online because we didn't have Teams. And I love the debate about which one to go through first. You go through Teams or do you go through OneNote? I'm like, you've got to go through OneNote because I've never known anything different, But that's been our go-to platform. I know that a lot of schools, I know some schools on Jersey that subscribe to other learning platforms and everything. I'm like, we've got Office 365, we've got OneNote. We've got Class Notebook at our fingertips. Use that. It's effectively free for us because it's already bought and paid for by the government of Jersey. So that's why Class Notebook was our go-to tool. But even then, on the next slide, when you're then creating your content, our students and our staff at the moment, because we were diving into this then straight away, well, maybe you don't have the material straight away at hand, and maybe you don't have your own content. It's fine. Just embed the videos into the OneNote pages. So as the students can watch something and then they can reflect on it, they can think about it, they can have another attempt, they can re-watch it before then. When you click play on this slide, I'm pretty sure it'll then scroll down to show the rest of my page again. I've just put a table in,
Oh, okay.
So if you put the slides there, look, putting in a table, putting in some snippets of the tools that they're going to need on OneNote to be able to complete it. And if they haven't got those tools because they haven't got the right device, then I'm not going to judge them. But if they have, I'm trying to give them as much information as possible to be able to complete the learning tasks that I've set. And then straight away again, then I put my rubric straight there into my OneNote page. So as for a member of staff as well easily, it's easy for me to circle that for a student with my digital linking. So as they then get the feedback straight away, they're not going to have that feedback like I would give them in lesson. So that's why I always put my rubrics in there. I won't bore you with the next ones because I think it's just more of the same, to be honest, that I shared with you. But I do want to show you one that one of my colleagues, Hannah, set up. Oh, there you go. There's a forms quiz, like what I was saying. You want to give a quiz on the students to have instant feedback on something. Make sure that you branch it right so as then they can reattempt it and everything. But look, throw your forms quiz straight away into your OneNote page. Especially for a math teacher. The math tools in forms are just superb. But yeah, if you skip on from that one, I'm looking for the one. It's a creative writing task, which for a maths teacher, I'm well out of my depth on. That one's cool as well. Again, showing your students in OneNote how they can use the digital inking and how they can use the replay feature. Again, communicating that to them so as, because I'm not there and I'm not working with them and not doing the teaching in real time, well, look, this is how I'd model it in class. So then you make sure that you click the replay tool, students, so as you can rewatch me do it. I've already put my digital linking up there, but again, creating it all in a table, making sure that they can access it and they can communicate their answers to me as well. I'd hate this thought of my students being frustrated because they don't know how to tell me what they're thinking. So I'm trying to get their learning organised for them. And this is an example of one of my colleagues, Hannah. Hannah's creative writing task, as I say, as a maths teacher, I'm well out of my depth with this. But on the next one, this is Hannah's task. She gets these from Bubble 365 or Bobble 365. But again, what she does is she takes these creative writing tasks, puts them into a table into OneNote, so as then the students can then work through this at their own pace. But they've got specific places where they can communicate what the teacher wants to see, so as it's easy for the student. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to stress that that's the important factor here, is if you're going to set your students some independent learning like this, please make sure it's easy for them to fill in. None of this competing behaviors or anything like that the students have got to download and re-upload or anything. You can use OneNote for this because it's got to be the most flexible space I've ever seen, and make sure that your students are able to communicate their answers straight back to you. And their learning and their knowledge, so just make it simple for the students.
I love this. I feel like it even goes back to what you were saying, with one of our struggles as students and the devices they have. Not all students have printers or access to print content or ink to print lots of content. So I love that this is so versatile that you're able to easily just put in your information right here and make it easy for the kids to either ink or type in their responses.
Well, Chris Gerard said that Adam using math tools at VET was a showstopper. So
you should say that, Chris, because your demonstration of Flipgrid. It was Chris that got me onto Flipgrid and got me starting to think about what can I do to communicate with my students and demonstrate their maths knowledge. So thanks for the praise, Chris. But I tell you, without you, brother, I'd be nowhere on Flipgrid.
Well, and I love, we have been huge fans of OneNote for years. And I just think, now that we have teams and they can work together, it's obviously better together. But just being able to have everything there in the OneNote, you have all your draw tools, you have all the math tools, you have, my daughter has been loving the dictation feature. So she'll go in there and she has to write a response. And she may have a few keys broken on her keyboard. So that doesn't help. She loves to use the dictation. I'm like, just speak it. And Slee always says, I am like the queen of dictation because I speak my text, I speak my emails. I always use that. And unfortunately, in the day and age we're in, our students don't know how to type as well as, in the past because we don't have the classes and the training that we did growing up. But I'm not even a very fast typer. I don't type very well and quickly, and then my nails get too long, and it's such a struggle. So I love to just use the dictation. So I think that's a skill that we need to make available, and I love that is.
I remember having typing classes at school, and it didn't help my anxiety, truth be told. The concept of having a time restraint as to how quickly I could press the keys really didn't suit me at all. And we've got to prepare ourselves. It's interesting. The next question is, what do you think it'll look like after this? If we're going to think realistically about the 21st century skills that we want to give our students, well, look, is it necessary that they type? I want them to be creative, and I want them to tell me what, for Hannah, some of her responses, she sets up her worksheets and everything else like that. But I know for a fact that she's got no problem if the student wanted to do an audio recording to the responses. And again, having software like that on your device dependent, having access to software like that and through OneNote just then makes it easier for students to communicate their feelings, their knowledge, their learning, their understanding. And that's something that we've got to prepare them for in the 21st century moving forward, especially moving after remote learning. I would love to think that we're going to get to a time where students have got the device. When we did our staff audit at our school, it was obvious, and it's obvious at break and lunchtime as well when we send our students off to the canteen. They've all got mobile phones. And I can get on everything, sir, because I've got a mobile phone in my pocket. And you go, okay, that's fine. And it's great that you have got that, and you're very fortunate to have that. But what about, as I said earlier, device-specific learning? Let's hope that we get to a stage, certainly for us over here in Jersey, let's hope that we get to a stage where the learning is geared around the devices that the students have got access to. It's quicker to access, it's more streamlined, it's more organised for the students. They're able to communicate on it a lot quicker. So as then, well, actually, spend some time in front of your device, get all your learning done, because then you can put your device down. One of the best things that I'm seeing at the minute, I know that Lanny was talking about his Flipgrid Olympics last night. I look forward to the time where our students have got a real healthy balance between how much time they're spending on their learning, how much time they're spending on their device, and how much time they're spending being active. And part of that comes from the former PE teacher that I used to be. I love the thought that our students can get on and do their learning quickly and more efficiently and communicate their knowledge quickly on Flipgrid, on Teams, on OneNote, so as then put it down and they can go and have some time outside.
Yeah, I love it. I agree. I think I want to go back to one of the first things you said for advice, or what you hope the future will look like, is allowing students to create how they want to create. I think that is so important, but not only for students, but also for teachers. Like, I think for us as facilitators and learning, that it's okay that students have that freedom in how they create.
Absolutely.
One of the best,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, one of the best things that happened to my son this year, he's in 8th grade, and he was in English, and he had to write an essay. Well, that was boring to him, and so he made a PowerPoint out of it instead. And when his teacher, kudos to Miss Laura, I love her, and she's amazing. She told me about it. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she was like, why are you sorry? He did everything he needed to do. He had all the components. He had everything. He just put it in a format that was interesting and that he enjoyed and that he thought I would enjoy. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't think about it that way, but yay, I'm so glad you did. But I was like, we should be looking at it that way. You know, let the students have that freedom to create and still meet the criteria that you're looking for, but in their own way.
My head of ICT, who I always refer to as my real boss, Michelle, she created a unit of work where she had to create a web page, and she wanted them to be able to write HTML script fine. When I showed her how you can turn a Word Online document into a sway, she was just like, brilliant, get them to do that as well. And then when I showed the students that and gave them creative freedom to do their own Word Online document, I mean, cheesily, I did mine about Mike Colston just to be able to demonstrate one quickly. I was like, look, I'll do this about Mike, so I know that I can find loads of stuff on him quickly on the internet. Threw it into a Word document, turned it into a sway. Giving the students that creative freedom was then superb because, like you say, it allows them to structure their own learning. But again, just going back to a point you made, that's also the same for staff, right? I advocate OneNote and Teams at school, and yet I've got an art teacher, Katie and Sarah, the art department. They're superb with PowerPoint. So it's all well and good me saying, guys, make sure you've got a class notebook for your students. Sarah and Katie turn around and say, yeah, we're just going to stick with PowerPoint, Adam. Yeah, fine, because it's perfect. And it's actually good as well for our students to then benefit from having both those experiences from different teachers within different departments within the school. Because, again, then it helps promote their creativity and their thinking differently about certain subjects.
Yeah.
Giving choice, too, that's extremely important. And I think now, too, I know our students, they get a choice, like a choice board kind of that the district has put together, our curriculum department, so they can choose different enrichment activities. And I love that because, you know, students, like you said, they might be great at speaking and acting, or they might be, you know, really good at drawing. And so whatever their talent is, you know, just being able to embrace that because they're going to be more invested in their learning when they are, you know, doing it in a way that interests them. So
yeah, absolutely.
Very good advice. Well, I want to go back. Adam, you were talking about the MEC early on. So I want to put this up again and add this across. I don't know if I might not have done it right. Oh, ooh, look, I did something fancy.
You did a scrolling banner.
So you should not let me have the controls.
We don't know how to sign you out now.
So the MEC is the Microsoft Educator community, and that is just another great platform for educators to come together and do Skype. I know Laney talked a little bit about that last night too, and Skype opportunities, and Adam, you referenced some of the tutorials and trainings and getting those badges and just learning. And then, like you said, sharing that and, you know, putting it out on Twitter and recommending so that other people can learn from that. Yeah,
we're really fortunate. I sort of, early on in the year, and it was following Bet, I gazumped some of our departments within school as well. Advocating that the MEC is I can't do it. I can't do it often enough because a lot of our staff and staff, particularly from other schools, definitely would turn around and say, how come your school's doing so well? When do you find time to have CPD? When do you find time to do training? Who is it that you've got in? It's this culture of, in order to develop as a teacher, well, you must have got someone in. And I'm always the first to say, well, no. Have you signed up to Microsoft Educator Centre? No. Wonderful guy Michael at one of our feeder primary schools reached out to me and said, some of our parents have been talking about this because their students come to your school, etc. So one of our colleagues has spoken about it. Can you show us what it is? I went to their primary school and their students are now flourishing with this. And the real benefit for us then as the secondary school is all of these primary school kids are going to come up to us already trained with how to learn and what we want. And their staff have taken on board the program that we've put in place at Grainville. They've adopted it for their primary teachers and everything, but they've done all of that through the MEC. And again, empowering staff to be able to go away and do your own badges and guide your own teaching and learning practice. There's so much stuff out there on the MEC. It's unbelievable. And it's just something that I can't speak highly enough of, because I know that it's given me the skills and confidence to be the teacher that I am today, and that's just something that I share out with staff. When we met with our team this morning on Teams, the first thing that I did afterwards, Woody, my mate in the PE department, was like, I knew there'd be a badge following this, Grocott, because sure enough, the first thing I did afterwards was like, well, look, now that you've had the benefit of this training, get online and go and do a badge. I used to do it all the time with our school. I'd give out purple prizes because of OneNote being purple. Over here in England, we do have the best chocolate. There you go. See, Sarah knows about Cadbury's chocolate is the best chocolate in the world, and it's the best thing to receive on a Friday afternoon for one of your colleagues to say, I love everything that you've been doing, and I love seeing what you've been using through OneNote. Have a purple prize, have a bag of chocolate. They absolutely love it, and they get that then through doing stuff on the MEC. And through doing other badges. I've got this wonderful board in our staff room, which I'd love to share with you, of all of our staff who've done our Fundamental 4. We picked 4 badges at the start of the year to say, these are going to be the ones that you're going to want to do on the MEC. They're geared around everything that we're trying to do through our school ethos. Make sure you get on and do these 4. I've got staff coming to me now going, Adam, I'm up to 20 badges. This is brilliant. When do I get more chocolate, they say.
People do anything for chocolate.
Yeah. There you go. Chris is even after Chris. I can't send you any chocolate until I lost a mystery Skype at Bet with Lanny, and I've still got the Jersey chocolate in my cupboard that I owe his students. So I'm really sorry, mate. I can't send any to Scotland until Lanny's had his.
Well, that's awesome. Definitely, if you have not explored the MEC, we highly encourage you to do that. And self-nominations are open now, so you have a little bit of time.
They actually open May 1st.
Oh, in May 1st.
So May 1st, yeah. They're almost open. Just a few days away. Yes.
So that's a great opportunity for you to self-nominate and to become an MIE expert. So we really love the program, and we do think that being a part of it is a true family. So just like you all and everyone here, I mean, we are all part of that family, and it really does have such a family feel, and we are very grateful for it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Well, any last minute thoughts, Adam? Anything you want to share? You have given us so much good advice and great ways that we can utilize these tools in the Office 365 platform during this distance learning time.
No, not really. I'd like to think it, as I say, my main message to teachers is for making it for your students, make it concise, make it simple, and hopefully the message that I've got across here. But just to thank you girls, all right, when you talk just about family and what the MEC brings out in people and what you can do through the educators community and what you can find out through the power of Twitter and how you build up your network and everything. I know for a fact that I've got some colleagues that are doing that right now. And I'd say that anyone that sees this, that's involved in teaching, make sure that you're doing the same. I had a great message from one of the guys that mentored me in my first year in teaching, Matt Hardman, reached out to me earlier because he was like, okay, you've got my attention now because you tweeted something about Flipgrid. I'd love to think that Matt's going away and doing it. And the same with the other guy, Matt Ball, who trained me in my very, very first year in teaching. He's the same. He's like, Grocott, what's this community thing that you keep sharing about? So I know that they're interested. But I can't end this call when you're talking about family without talking about my own wife, because she's probably heard me banging on about this now for the last 3 years, and we're finally there, as I say, this week with teens. She loves the enthusiasm that I've got, and she's really grateful for the persistence. It's fingers crossed one day that actually you see a Mrs. Grocott on Twitter. I keep telling her about it, but Her school uses the other system, which I won't mention. But no, other than that, girls, thank you so much. It's following Betty was an ambition of mine to get on the Jenallee show, so I'm really pleased to have done it today.
Well, this won't be the last time.
No, definitely
back on, and we love catching up with you and hearing you. Like I said, we just like listening to you talk. So good for all that.
I don't think some of my colleagues would believe that my accent is nice to listen to. They really wouldn't.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you spending time.
You.
And I know for you all, it's like 10, 11?
Yeah.
10, 11,
yeah, it's 11. Just 11 o'clock.
Oh, my goodness.
End of St. George's Day. I might celebrate afterwards with it.
Well, we're so glad you were here. And next week, I don't know that we were prepared enough today, but next week we have some guests with us. The E-Twins are going to be with us on Wednesday. Yay. So we're super excited to have Alberto and Mario on next Wednesday, and we'll share out their information as well so you guys can listen to the great things that they're doing. And they're huge OneNote users as well, and they use Teams and Flipgrid, so love hearing how they're using all these programs also. So just keep being amazing, Adam. We appreciate everything that you're doing, and we know we will see more of you online and the great work that you're doing. So I know that your students appreciate you and your colleagues, and we do as well.
We'll get there. Thank you very much, girls.
All right. Well, we're gonna sign off for tonight, and you guys get some rest over there on the other side of the world, and stay well. And we appreciate you.
No worries. Thank you. Have a lovely rest of the day.
All right. We'll see you later. Bye.
Take care. Bye.